Fans of the late counting on actor Ben Seewald have taken to the internet to mock his tragic fate. Read on for the whole scoop and the opinions of those who follow the family. Being famous brings both praise and criticism to Ben and Jessa Seewald, even if many of the Duggars followers seem to adore them. Everyone will always be dissatisfied with them, no matter how much they try. Some of Ben's earlier public discussions have made a comeback on Reddit. Just a few months ago, these conversations took place on Twitter. Using Twitter, Ben communicated with two other people. Through Facebook and email, he informed them that he had reached out to them. Since these emails were private, it is impossible to know for sure what he said or the subject of these communications. However, Ben felt compelled to respond in this manner, which undoubtedly sparked internet discussion among supporters. On the Hard Men podcast, you may hear host Eric Kahn. The website for the program mentions that Brian Soff has also been a guest on the podcast. A second podcast by the same group is The King's Hall. This getting to know each other amongst Ben Seewald, Brian Soff, and Eric Kahn can be related to the podcast or something totally other. Both supporters and detractors of the Duggar family continued their investigation after coming across these tweets from Ben Seewald. Among the men Ben had messaged were several whose tweets were uncovered. Critics and admirers alike are critiquing Ben's frantic Twitter attempts on Reddit. Someone has said that he seems needy and old. This socializing is uncomfortable and depressing, according to others. Someone asks, why does he think it's important to do this in public? Does he want people to know they're contacting him? Or is he really attempting to capture his attention? Ben is one step removed from being an MMHun, says another. A lot of people, both supporters and detractors, are pointing out that some of Ben Seewald's friends have tweeted horrible things. In response to Ben's sexist buddies, one Reddit user said, "It's hard to tell who sucks more. Ben for being that guy who messages you about messaging you." So, how are you feeling about Ben Seewald's latest efforts to make friends? Post your thoughts in the space provided, and be sure to check back with TV Shows Ace for any updates on the Duggar family. Ben Seewald joined the famed Duggar family, who are watched by both admirers and detractors, after his 2014 marriage to Jessa Duggar. The Duggars have been the targets of cyberbullying due to their public displays of virtuous living, huge family reunions, and conservative Christian beliefs. Ben Seewald, on the other hand, was the target of an internet slur recently. Seewald is reserved, mild-mannered, and often overshadowed by the bigger Duggar personalities. The rationale behind it? Misunderstood footage of Ben at a public event went viral, leading to criticism and ridicule of his social awkwardness. A brief online encounter escalated into a media frenzy, prompting inquiries regarding in-law life as a Duggar, societal pressures, and public opinion. While the Seewalds were at a church-related function, the incident went viral. Standing on the fringe of a gathering, Ben reaches out to pick up a platter of food and tries to start a conversation in the video. Viewers couldn't help but notice his clumsy, uncertain, and somewhat discordant body language in comparison to the rest of the group's vibrant conversation. The film itself wasn't what got people talking, it was how the video was disseminated. Under the title, "When You're Trying to Fit In with the Cool Kids But Don't Know How to Contribute," a Twitter user shared the video. Thousands of people liked, retweeted, and commented on the post, with many making fun of Ben's embarrassment. "Ben looks like he got invited by accident and is trying not to get kicked out," one commenter said. "Every party where I don't know anyone except the person who dragged me there," another joked. The background of Ben's existence as a member of the Duggar family and his notoriety were the driving forces for the trolling, which extended beyond the actual event. I'll explain why this specific clip hit home. Silent character. When it comes to the Duggar family, Ben has always been on the quieter side. Ben, in contrast to Jessa's self-assuredness and Jim Bob's flamboyant nature, is quiet and contemplative. Because of this, he is a perfect punchline for jokes about how out of place he is. The cultural pressures that Ben experienced as a child from his big, socially connected family like the Duggars likely did not equip him to handle the nuanced intricacies of unfamiliar social settings. Many found his comical clumsiness in the video relatable. Myths regarding the Duggar in-laws. The in-laws of a Duggar family member are often unfairly portrayed as naive and ill-equipped to handle the real world. Marry into the family, critics say, might stunt their development as people. Exaggerated judgments about Ben's personality were made since his reticent behavior in the video appeared to match this storyline. People on social media wasted no time making fun of Ben for being uncomfortable. The following responses were among the most widespread. A juxtaposition between Ben's presence at the gathering with a child at a birthday celebration, uncertain of whether they are permitted to reach for a cupcake quite yet. When your one friend at the party has to use the restroom is one example of a GIF caption. Parody movies in which individuals mimic Ben's posture, down to the anxious looks and rigid body language. The tone of some of the remarks ranged from humorous to personal, with some accusing Ben of being socially awkward or out of touch. The hilarious and quick-witted Jessa Duggar Seewald has defended her family several times from internet trolls. But she was unusually silent in this case. Her admirers thought she was either letting Ben deal with the issue on his own or just choosing to ignore the criticism. Not every internet troll merits a reaction. Therefore, Jessa showed moderation, which was lauded by some of her admirers. Because some of the remarks had become so personal, many people thought she should have defended Ben. Ben didn't say anything about the trolling, but others close to the family said he was aware of it. Ben knows not to take these things too seriously, and he has a great sense of humor, a family acquaintance supposedly added. The tendency for social media to embellish is something he is aware of. In defense of Ben, his admirers cited his generosity, devotion to his family, and religion as reasons to stand by him. A lot of people have said that being shy or uncomfortable isn't a bad thing, and that bullying someone because of it reflects poorly on the critics rather than the victim. Inadvertently, Ben's internet sensation started a broader discussion around introvert struggles with social anxiety and navigating public spaces. Many viewers could connect to his shyness and admitted to having had similar feelings of not fitting in or not knowing what to say. To be honest, I feel sorry for Ben. One Twitter user commented. He seems to be a kind person who is awkward at large gatherings. Everyone has been there, right? Internet comedy can be both a blessing and a curse, as this instance demonstrated. Despite their humorous value, memes and jokes have the potential to propagate harmful stereotypes and inflict genuine emotional distress. There is never a moment when a member of the Duggar family is not watched. Fans and detractors scrutinize every public appearance, social media post, and casual statement. Ben and other in-laws may find this especially difficult. Ben came into this world as a stranger, in contrast to the Duggar siblings, who were born into fame. Managing the demands of a prominent family while still pursuing one's own personal development is no easy task. Instead of allowing himself to be defined by public opinion, Ben has shown incredible resilience by concentrating on his roles as a spouse, father, and pastor in training. Even if it was awkward, Ben and the public learned a lot from the trolling. When someone feels vulnerable, it's better to show empathy than to be critical or mocking. No one is immune to awkward social situations, and it's cruel to make light of them.